Could this be the last day that we see Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan on the Chicago Bulls? Let's talk about it. No intro. We're going to go straight into it. There is some rumors and there is some inklings that Zach LaVine may not be on the Bulls after this particular day. And with this being a couple of minutes before the draft, I wanted to get this out just to see and just give my last sentiments on it, because I think it would be a terrible mistake to trade Zach LaVine right now. I think we are not too far away from being a contending team. I think there are some things that we can do. I think that if we are willing to at least extend ourselves probably a little more than we have in the past, that this team could absolutely go from being mid to a top tier team in the East. We haven't been healthy. When we finally got healthy, we just had key pieces that weren't there. And then when we brought in a new piece and we seemed to have a breath of fresh air in Patrick Beverley, we didn't have enough time. And so while all of those things, are considered excuses in themselves, it's the truth of the matter. And sometimes the truth is just that, the truth. You can't do anything about that. So that's what I wanted to add. I want to get you all's opinion on it. I want to sit here and use this particular video and this comment section on this video as kind of a sounding board for the Windy City Breeze and for those on Chicago Bulls Breeze, if you're watching on there, just to see what your thoughts are. This is going to drop roughly about 6:25, 6:30, and this could be one of those things. And hey, even doing the making of this video, maybe that trade has already been made. That's how wild this day has been. I mean, who would have thought that Chris Paul would be on the Golden State Warriors of all teams? Like, we knew he would sit there and probably ring chase. I don't want to sit there and call him a ring chaser, but I mean, it really is what it is. But who would have thought that team of all teams, right? Who would have thought that we'd see Jordan Poole on the Wizards? Who would have thought we'd see Kristaps Porzingis on the Celtics? Celtics? I didn't see that. Marcus Smart on the Grizzlies? I think they got better. Who would have thought that? I didn't. So stranger things has happened. Stranger things have happened. In fact, if you go back a few years, who would have thought that we'd have Vooch? Remember, we sat here on the Breeze and we had these conversations as to who is going to be the first thing, the first piece that AK brings into the stable. And guess what? It was Vooch. We didn't say, no one had him. No one had Vooch as the premier big to come here. We weren't even thinking about that. We were thinking DeMar. We were thinking Lonzo. We were having a hope and a prayer that those would be the things. And you know what? Interestingly enough, AK delivered. We said we wanted, you go back on this channel, we said we wanted AK to have, bring in a guard like Lonzo Ball. We were saying it for a while. I like Lonzo Ball. I like Mike Conley. Those are the names we're throwing around. He got Lonzo Ball. We need an extra score. He got DeMar DeRozan. He built a good team. We couldn't stay healthy. And right now, I feel like now that we're over that particular hump, we may not be patient enough. Are we patient enough? And I don't think we are. I don't think this Bulls fan base is. I don't think the pressure going to ownership is. I think everyone may be in somewhat of a panic mode. And it's one of those things where I personally feel if you're willing to spend a little bit more money, that third piece is out there. That third piece is out there, and it's going to be something. And if you're going to move anybody, and this is not because he's a bad player, you move your older player, in my opinion. I still think DeMar DeRozan is the trade piece. Now, this is one of those Stephen A. Somberly videos, because at this point, I have no idea. This is all speculation. And at the end of the day, I am not in agreement with some of the trades that have been proposed or flirted with. I'm not in agreement with going into the draft and getting new talent. We barely developed the players we do have. I saw Larry Markkinen come here, didn't develop him. I know it's a different regime, but still didn't develop him. He gets his bumps and bruises elsewhere. Now he's an all-star. We didn't develop him. Some of the best years of Zach LaVine have happened here, but guess what? That wasn't by choice. He got traded here. And I think he was destined to be a top talent in the league anyway. What I mean by that is I think his work ethic and skill set and desire to be there was already there. I think he was going to sit there and get to a 20 to 25 point a game score regardless of where he was. I think that's just the temperament he has. Now, whether he won with that mentality or not, it's a totally different argument and conversation. But I felt like as an individual, he was going to get there regardless. But I can't sit there and say that we've made him better because we haven't put the right pieces around him until lately. And then now we want to ship everyone off. But then there's also the flip side. Do they want to stay? Where do they see their careers going? This is not just ownership that we have to worry about. Zach LaVine may absolutely want to leave. And you know what? I couldn't blame him. Zach LaVine's been in every trade talk every offseason. Even mid-season, for no reason. There's people out there who said that they would take Zach LaVine and trade him for R.J. Barrett. What? There's people who said that Jaylen Brown was a better guard. No, he's not. If anything, he just got to the same type of guard, but as we can see, Jaylen can't go left. Jaylen, when really, really necessary, can't create a whole lot by himself. He looks really good next to another star. I've seen Zach do both. I've seen Zach go off by himself, and I've seen him go off next to another star. I don't think he had the runway or the time frame. But I want to hear your thoughts, man. I want to hear your thoughts. This is one of those videos where we really have to sit there and understand that we could be in for a whirlwind of surprises and we look totally different by the end of this day, or we can have nothing happen and we run it back. And I think if we run it back, running it back with maybe one or two smaller tweaks is the best thing for this team. You don't break up the entire core. I don't see that. You don't trade Zach LaVine. I don't think that's the case. I think any of the other pieces outside of Vooch and LaVine should be up for grabs. P. Will has not been, and maybe he will be. But in my opinion, P. Will and his opportunity did not give me much more than Obi Toppin did, and he had way less opportunity. And there's something to be stated with that. That's a mindset thing, if you catch my drift. There's something to be stated with that. And no matter what you feel emotionally, we've called every game. I've watched every game he's played. I've watched majority of the games that Obi has gotten tick in just to be able to have this conversation. Obi's the better player. He has less opportunity. If I'm making a move, I'm trading P. Will. I'm trading Kobe White since everyone said, well, if you can, well, he's in a different situation. I'm not resigning him. Those are the things that I personally would do. But I want to hear your thoughts, man. I want to hear how you feel. This is one of those videos where, man, it could work, it could not work. I'm not doing it for the views. I'm doing it just to have a general conversation because we chose not to go live. And unless something actually, big happens, there's no need for us to go live. But hey, I want to hear your thoughts, man. You've all been rocking with us since the beginning. It's only right that you all are here again during these pivotal moments when it comes to reporting on this team and digging in. It's only right that we share these moments with you all. And so these are my thoughts, man. These are my general thoughts right now about the Chicago Bulls. I want to know yours. If whether it's love, whether it's hate, put it in the chat. I'll be in there with you. And let's try to have a day. Let's try to have a day, boys. Let's try to make the most of this situation no matter what happens. Because who knows? AK could be working on something, like I mentioned earlier. Blows our freaking mind. But let's find out together. I'll see you all in a bit.